Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician, just a stone cold, narrative driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people...
What happens when Gavin Newsom's ego slams headfirst into Joe Rogan's raw, unfiltered honesty? It's not just a debate, it's a political explosion so fierce it left California blushing in nationwide embarrassment. Rogan didn't just challenge Newsom, he turned him into a walking, talking TED Talk on how to fail spectacularly. Hypocrisy, Botox, and delusion ooze from every word like melted wax under the spotlight. This wasn't a debate, it was a demolition derby of egos, and Newsom was hopelessly outmatched. He showed up to a flamethrower fight armed with nothing but a squirt gun, hair gel, and overconfidence, and by the end, all that shine melted away.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, you know, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive.
Gavin Newsom's political career feels like a kale smoothie blended with pure smugness and empty campaign slogans. Every morning he gazes into the mirror and practically gives himself a standing ovation just for existing. Meanwhile, California burns, floods, and taxes itself into a coma, tripping over every legislative disaster in sight. Then comes Joe Rogan, the podcast philosopher, elk meat champion, and human lie detector with a microphone sharper than a scalpel, and you know it's bad when even Rogan, a man who once spent 3 hours raving about sauna sessions, decides that Newsom is the perfect clown for a public roasting. What followed wasn't a debate, it was a verbal execution in real time.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing, and then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And like, you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Like, personally ruined it.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Gavin struts around like California is America's VIP lounge, and he's the velvet rope guarding the door with that shiny gelled hair and no clue confidence. He's not a leader. He's a game show host who wandered into politics and started playing pretend. Meanwhile, his cities crumble one pothole at a time, each one deep enough to start an archaeological dig. But who needs working roads when you can throw a fancy sustainability summit serving quinoa sliders and recycled air? It's like watching a show where style keeps winning over sense, and everyone else pays the price.
Did you see the governor talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down? And he did this little dance, like
some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. Like, it's all insanely mismanaged.
Joe Rogan took one look at California's chaos and declared, "It's time to dismantle this hologram of fake confidence." Watching it unfold felt like witnessing a grizzly bear debate a Starbucks barista who believes good vibes count as public policy. Gavin's solution to homelessness: hide it every time a tech conference rolls into town. He tried to sell California as the promised land, where every cracked sidewalk somehow symbolizes innovation, and every 10th city counts as a vibrant community. Rogan blinked and asked, "Is this a prank show, or is the state really being run like a group project where the leader never showed up?" Then came Newsom's economic plan: tax people until they flee or forget what joy feels like. His idea of an economy is a juice cleanse, great in theory, miserable in practice, and guaranteed to leave you broke, tired, and furious.
Like a bizarre, I did enjoy affecting the election.
Oh, dude, imagine. I can imagine.
I did enjoy it because I didn't want to. I did not want to get involved in any way, shape, or form. But it got so weird.
Yeah,
crazy.
you'd express that publicly in the past.
I was like, I don't want to have nothing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it in the future. I didn't want to. I just felt sucked into it. I'm like, like we can't do this again. We can't do it with these same people that us for 4 years, and then they're gonna we're gonna do it differently now. Like what's going on? Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about...
Now let's talk about Newsom's so-called environmental record. Brace yourself. Gavin loves to brag about being green, yet he runs a state powered by rolling blackouts and wishful thinking. He bans gas-powered lawn tools while wildfires turn half of California into a fiery marshmallow roast. Rogan barely had to lift a finger, one confused head tilt, and he muttered that logic must have gone on vacation, and boom, Gavin's agenda went up in smoke, literally. Then came the pandemic when Gavin locked down the state like a dystopian amusement park, only to dine maskless at a Michelin star restaurant, humming "Rules are for peasants." Rogan, armed with studies and skepticism, questioned every ounce of hypocrisy like a vitamin D-fueled Sherlock Holmes. Watching him tear through the nonsense was like watching a lion floss with spaghetti. Fierce yet hilarious. And where did it all lead? Straight into moral bankruptcy. Every time Gavin tried to virtue signal, Rogan hit back with a chokehold of facts and pure common sense until the entire illusion crumbled into dust.
You know, when I went there, I had a great relationship with President Xi. We got along very well. And they treated me better than anybody has ever been treated. And I said, this air is good. Do you know they closed every factory 1 week before I got there from within 200 miles?
That's like what Gavin Newsom did when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up. He got rid of all the homeless people.
Isn't that terrible in a way? To think, he cleaned it up and then it became a pigsty.
Well, the dumbest thing is he said when your friends come by, when you have visitors, you clean up your house. Like, how about just keep your fucking house clean?
Can you imagine?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say ever as a governor as to excuse to why you finally cleaned up your homeless problem.
Then comes the great population escape. People are fleeing California like passengers abandoning a sinking luxury cruise, and Gavin's on deck trying to plug the holes with glossy campaign flyers. Rogan himself bailed out, waving goodbye in podcast form with a digital middle finger disguised as logic and laughter. He didn't just move, he led an intellectual jailbreak from madness, dragging Gavin's failed policies behind him like a raccoon wrestling a trash can into the woods. Education under Gavin's rule? A Pinterest board of slogans and zero execution. Kids graduate ready to write essays on equity but can't solve basic math. Rogan nearly burst out laughing when he looked at California's justice system. Now a Chuck E. Cheese for lawbreakers. His take was savage yet spot on. If returning a library book late gets harsher punishment than robbing a Walgreens, then maybe, just maybe, the entire system needs a hard reboot.
Gavin Newsom said to him?
No.
Pull that post up, Jamie. Gavin Newsom said that you shouldn't be posting this. We're going to make it illegal, and I'm going to sign a law. And he said, Professor suck.
Didn't.
Yes, he did.
Elon said that to Gavin Newsom?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I checked with renowned world authority Professor Sug on D's nuts, and he said parody is legal in America.
Now let's talk about Gavin's personal brand. It's like a political Instagram filter come to life. Smooth, polished, and painfully fake. Everything about him screams, trust me, I've practiced this smile 47 times in the mirror. Rogan, with his trademark mix of raw honesty, muscle, and mushrooms, looked at that glossy facade and cracked it open with a single word. How do you compete with a guy who can grill neuroscientists about DMT 1 minute and destroy an entire PR campaign with one sigh? Gavin honestly believes being photogenic counts as leadership. He rolls up his sleeves like he's about to fix an engine, when the only thing he's ever tuned is his talking points. Rogan wasn't fooled for a second. His nonsense radar works through microphones. Meanwhile, Gavin's running a state that's sparking mass migration and internet memes faster than policy. And yet, he still imagines himself as presidential material. Rogan could barely stop laughing because if California is the audition tape, Newsom's presidency would be nothing but the blooper reel.
What do you make of what Gavin Newsom is doing right now with this podcast? Because I've said, I'm against conservatives going on his podcast because I think it's helping him train for 2028.
Yeah,
I don't think we should help him.
I agree completely. I didn't think that obviously.
He's strong. Gavin Newsom's not strong. He's French laundry. He's too pretty. he's too needy of like the good opinion of people like Charlie, who I love, but like as a Democrat, you shouldn't be looking for approval from Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk. He's a little too effete.
Transportation in California has become a tragic comedy of errors. High-speed rail projects crawl slower than a DMV line during lunch break. Billions have vanished, leaving behind a giant concrete scar cutting through farmland like a monument to mismanagement. Rogan couldn't help but laugh. It was like someone pitching an underwater toaster startup and calling it innovation. What California's got is infrastructure theater. Flashy, expensive, and utterly useless. Gavin's biggest talent. Dodging blame like he's in an Olympic dodgeball match, where every ball is a flaming lawsuit. He's always one step removed, never responsible, until Rogan cuts through the excuses with razor-sharp sarcasm. When Gavin shrugs and blames the system, Rogan fires back, "Buddy, you are the system." The man's been in power longer than most people's mortgages. Newsom's favorite move is acting shocked when his own ideas explode, like a chef surprised that pouring gasoline on a grill causes flames. He talks like a TED Talk collided with a kale seminar, slow, syrupy, and detached from reality. Californians, meanwhile, pay $5 a gallon while weaving through tent cities just to get home. What a nightmare.
He is smart to start this. And the reason he's smart to start it is because he has no muscles, Emily. None. He's a sinewy little weakling when it comes to arguing any of these issues, especially cultural issues, because he, like all liberals, has never had to do it. So now he's trying to get his training, which is smart on his part, and it would be smart on the part of conservatives to say no, because they declined to help him get in shape before the big bout. We're supposed to be helping Rocky, not Drago.
And the best part, Gavin delivers every line with that frozen deadpan face, like he's solving climate change using hashtags and recycled wine bottles. Meanwhile, Rogan, who's interviewed everyone from rocket scientists to conspiracy theorists convinced the moon is hollow and ruled by ancient lizards, still found Gavin's logic to be the most mind-bending spiral he's ever heard. Think about that. Rogan has listened to rants about chemtrails, Bigfoot, and flat earth domes, yet somehow Newsom's reasoning made even that sound coherent. Gavin governs like he's the misunderstood genius in an indie movie that only he finds deep. But back in the real world, Rogan came armed with the verbal equivalent of a weed whacker, slicing through Gavin's tangled web of double talk, overregulation, and that lingering cloud of smug incompetence that never seems to leave the room. It wasn't just critique, it was poetic demolition.
Manhattan is 14,000 acres. In LA, at least 17,000 acres have been burned to the ground, have been eliminated. I heard somebody saying it looks like Mars. You know, like it looks like the surface of Mars now, just burned embers. An area bigger than the island of Manhattan. Think of if New York were just eliminated. It looks, forgive me, but it looks like a nuclear bomb hit the region. Just a huge swath of one of our most beautiful cities is gone. She's going. I don't know if she knows that. Gavin Newsom, same. You're effed. Stop telling us about the embers in your hair. It's over for you, my friend. I'm sorry, but your political career ended last week. Again, he's pretending like he doesn't know it.
Gavin spins, twists, and dodges questions like he's auditioning for Cirque du Soleil's next political edition. Rogan just leans back with that classic dude what face, and suddenly it's like watching a tower of political Jenga collapse in slow, glorious motion. One misplaced buzzword, and boom, the illusion falls apart faster than Gavin's approval ratings during a heat wave, when nobody can charge their car or even turn on a fan without summoning an electrical meltdown. Gavin likes to imagine California as a shining lighthouse of progress, but under his rule, it's become a giant bug zapper, bright, noisy, expensive, and deadly to anything that gets too close. Rogan wasn't fooled. He lived there, saw the chaos firsthand, a demolition happening in slow motion while Gavin shouted, "We're innovating," as the roof caved in. Rogan didn't need to exaggerate. He just described the nightmare reality where California bleeds residents like it's handing out free one-way tickets to Texas and Florida as farewell gifts.
I tell you, I don't think Gavin Newsom is the great white hope of the Democratic Party. I really don't. I don't see it happening. Am I wrong? I realize he's got the widow's peak. That's in his favor. He's got the gravelly voice. I don't think Bashir, I thought Bashir could do it because he's a blue governor in a red state, Kentucky. But the more I listen to him, the more I'm like, he can't do it. He seems pathetic and weak. I'm sorry.
In the end, Rogan didn't have to destroy Gavin Newsom. Gavin did that himself. He built his own self-destruct machine out of broken laws, shaky logic, and pure blinding arrogance. All Rogan had to do was shine a flashlight on the wreckage and ask, "You see this, right?" And the entire state nodded in the dark during yet another rolling blackout. Because when your state leads the nation in homelessness, sky-high taxes, and outbound U-Hauls, it doesn't take a world-class comedian to make you look ridiculous. The policies do that just fine. Gavin's grand legacy? Convincing millions of people to pay extra just to watch their quality of life implode like a vegan souffle in a hurricane. He struts around like the monarch of a collapsing banana republic. No podium needed, no plan in sight, just pure dazzling nonsense until it all falls apart harder than California's budget during wildfire season.
Here's what he found, put together after Newsom was out there claiming, never.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
That's so fun. Gavin, a simple Google search about yourself will serve you well before you make these sweeping claims. But on the same dishonest, disingenuous front, he tried to act like he's the reasonable one on the trans and the children issue.
Gavin still struts across the stage like he's delivering the keynote at a global summit on saving the planet. But Rogan already gave the eulogy, not just for Newsom's reputation, but for the fantasy world he lives in, where hiking taxes, banning fun, and ignoring crumbling infrastructure somehow equals progress. Rogan's roast wasn't cruelty. It was mercy, pure and simple. It was like telling someone they've got spinach in their teeth before stepping onto national TV, except this time, the spinach was an entire failed governorship. And Gavin, he just kept grinning, that same stiff Zoolander smirk plastered on his face, completely unaware that the emperor has no clothes. The only twist, he's still charging Californians extra for the privilege of pointing it out. What a finale, and what a fall from grace.